Titus Road in Freeport, Ohio brings 153 acres to market as one parcel split with 6 separate buying options. The land sits in the rolling hills of Guernsey County, with road access across the offering, a mix of mature timber and open ground, and source-documented water features and hunting infrastructure. The tracts range from 17 to 36 acres, so a buyer can look at one manageable piece, combine a few, or hold the whole 153. This is rural, usable ground with room for hunting, a future build site, and long-term land ownership. Let's walk the split tract by tract. Well, let's start off with Tract 1, 24 acres. And this section opens on the part of the property that feels most immediately usable: open ground, wooded edges, and practical access. The field gives you options, whether you are thinking about a future build site, a place to stage equipment, or simply a cleaner way to hunt the edge. The timber gives the tract cover and shape, and the interior access keeps entry and exit straightforward. That gives the visuals room to breathe without drifting. There is a visible stand location in the plan, so the hunting story does not have to be forced. It is a tract that works for a buyer who wants a balanced first piece: enough acreage to matter, enough open ground to use, and enough cover to keep the land feeling private. Tract 1 is not trying to be complicated. It is the field and timber piece that sets the tone for the whole split. Now let's look at Tract 2, 17 acres, and this is the quieter timber tract in the group. The footage leans into mature hardwood cover, bedding-style security, and a more tucked-away feel compared with the bigger open pieces. That matters for a buyer who is less worried about owning the most acreage and more interested in owning the right kind of cover. Smaller tracts can hunt well when access is clean, pressure is controlled, and the timber gives wildlife a reason to stay comfortable. Tract 2 has road access, a visible stand location in the plan, enough terrain change to keep it from feeling flat, and enough seclusion to feel like its own pocket inside the split. It also leaves room for a simple future base camp conversation, without implying anything already built on site. If the goal is a manageable wooded tract with privacy, Tract 2 deserves a close look. Let's step on over to Tract 3. This is 20 acres, and the story here is terrain, trails, and cover. The buyer-facing value stays grounded in timber, high spots, and interior travel routes. For a hunter, that matters. Deer do not move because of one feature alone. They move through edges, cover, openings, and pinch points. Tract 3 gives you enough acreage to plan an entry route, enough timber to hold a natural travel pattern, and enough elevation change to make the setup interesting. That keeps the sequence grounded in what buyers can understand. The visible stand location and interior access keep it practical, and the open pockets give the tract a few different ways to use it. If you are looking for a piece that feels like it can be hunted with a plan, Tract 3 is built around movement, cover, and terrain. Now over to Tract 4, 27 acres. And this is where the water language becomes easier to show. The section can open on timber scale, then move into the creek and flow details without overreaching beyond what the source and footage support. That combination gives the tract a different feel from the first 3. More texture, more terrain detail, and more ways to understand how the ground lays. You have mature hardwoods, a visible blind or stand location, creek footage, rock and ravine character, and practical access tying it together. For a serious buyer, that creates options. You can think about hunting the creek corridor, using the high spots, and reading wind and entry routes across a tract, with enough room to rotate pressure. Tract 4 is the most visually layered section of the split, and it earns its acreage. Next up, Tract 5. This is the largest piece at 36 acres, and the video should let that scale breathe. Tract 5 is not about making a blind claim the footage cannot fully support. It is about the feel of a bigger timber block with access, terrain, views, and enough room to manage pressure. The selected visuals show mature hardwoods, corridors, edge texture, and a generic water feature moment that should stay generic. That is still plenty of story. 36 acres gives a buyer more separation, more control over how the ground is hunted, and more room to think long-term. You can hold the core quieter, work the edges, and use the access without making the tract feel chopped up. If someone wants the biggest standalone option in the split, Tract 5 is the trophy scale block. quiet, wooded, practical, and large enough to feel different. Let's head over to Tract 6. 29 acres, and this section finally opens back up into wide field visuals. The value here is the open ground itself, wrapped by timber edges and paired with road access, a visible stand location, and build site potential. A buyer can see the use cases quickly. You can picture a future home site looking across the field, a simple access plan from the road, and a hunting setup that watches the transition from open ground into cover. The source package supports the broader hunting story, but the visuals should stay on habitat and land features, not animal promises. Tract 6 has the views, the open space, the track size, and the practical finish to close the tour, with a strong option. It gives the ending a clean read: field, access, cover, and choice. Now you've seen all 6 tracks. Together, they make 153 acres on 0 Titus Road. Buy one tract, combine a few, or look at the whole split. Pick the piece that fits your plan, or control the full acreage as one larger play. To walk it in person, reach out to Tyler Haessly with Buckeye Land Sales, 740-525-4582, or Tyler@buckeyelandsales.com. This is Buckeye Country,